effort that was put forth by our volunteers was absolutely monumental.
Organizers say it's been another successful year for EAA AirVenture. Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us tonight. The success this year in Oshkosh was measured a little differently than in years past.
Organizers are calling it the most challenging weather conditions in the history of the event. Storms earlier in the week left runways and campgrounds soaked, forcing some people to move off-site. As Fox 11's Cameron Clark shows us, the fly-in seems to have come to a strong finish.
It was time to wrap up their first EAA AirVenture for Hugo and Chloe Dumonc. What was your favorite part about this?
Kidventure. Fighter section, because I really liked how we could visit a couple of them.
But for their dad, Thomas, planning his second trip by plane was a little trickier this time around.
We would have come just one day earlier, and what we did, we stopped in Michigan just across the lake and crossed the lake Thursday morning to arrive here early, and it was perfect.
Thanks to tireless work by the EAA staff and more than 4,000 volunteers who used literally every resource to dry up what had been titled Splashkosh earlier in the week.
We actually had a couple of helicopters out there just hovering, moving the air around, and it actually did a significant job drying out the ground.
If you travel around the greater Oshkosh area, you saw campers everywhere. We dispatched every hard surface piece of ground available, and we basically were not one site, but about 10 sites.
More than 7,000 vehicles parked off-site, and hundreds of airplanes landed and parked at surrounding airports. While final attendance figures aren't in, organizers are saying numbers will be down slightly from last year's 600,000, which is thought to be a record. They are calling it a very strong finish for this year's event.
This event is special for a lot of reasons. Number one, without question, in my 35 years as chairman, it's the most difficult conditions we've ever addressed, and that was a challenge. But everybody met the challenge.
And for the first year, the success of AirVenture,
not how we begin, it's how we end,
isn't all about the numbers. In Oshkosh, Cameron Clark, Fox 11 News.
One number that is up this year, the number of vendors, which organizers say is a positive sign in a still struggling economy. However, vendors say sales were down a bit this year and blame the wet weather.